Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is the first time I have sat down and filmed a YouTube video in such a long time, and I've been trying to vlog recently but life's been kind of hectic. There will be a vlog coming soon. I'm again, as I always am, sorry that I haven't been very consistent on YouTube. I absolutely love YouTube and I love making videos for you guys and I love that they can help you, and it's something I want to get back on. I just have had a bit of a chaotic life, but I'm in my new flat, which I'm pretty sure I was in the last video, but I've obviously not done a sit down video here, and I feel like the vibes are very cozy today. I'm snuggled under a blanket, which is necessary because I'm refusing to put my heating on because I just don't want to do it. Now I'm an adult and I have to control my heating. Like if I was at my mum and dad's house, I'd be like, guys, stick the heating on, but it's my house and my money and I'm like, I'm not putting the heating on. So I'm just letting myself be cold for now. When it hits November, I'm sure I'll put the heating on. But today, anyway, I thought I would do a Q&A, a little life update, a little catch up, because I've had a lot of questions, and I also put a question box on my story yesterday, and got lots of nice questions. So I thought we would just get straight into it and I would answer some and hopefully it will give you a bit of a life update. So yeah, the first question, and this is actually one that I got a lot of similar questions on the topic of, and that is, do I still struggle with my body image? And I've kind of spoken about this over on Instagram, but I haven't really addressed it in like a long answer. The honest answer is not really. I think 9 times out of 10, so most days, I look at my body in the mirror and I don't really give it a second thought. I just don't really care. I am so unbothered now by how my body looks, and I'm so just at peace with it. And I know like it's definitely changed in the past few years. I mean, I've had a lot of things happen and a lot of medication changes, and I'll get into that in a minute. And my body has changed, but the way I feel about it hasn't changed. I have remained completely neutral about my body for, I'd say, well over a year now. And it's just such a nice place to be in, and one that I never thought I would get to, which is why it's so lovely as well to sort of sit here and just acknowledge that, like, obviously I'm in like a jumper now, but if I was in a little tank top, like that's basically all I wore all summer was little tops, shorts, skirts, and I have no issues. I have no like worries about my body. And obviously, because everybody does, I will have some days where I wake up and I look at myself and I'm just not feeling my best. Like there'll be things that I just think, ugh, but it's never anything that I want to change, and it's never anything that I want to, work on or lose weight. I literally just am so neutral about my body. So the honest answer is no, really. I don't really have body image issues anymore, and that's such a wonderful thing. The next question, which I kind of said I was going to touch on this just then. Are you on ADHD meds? Does that not influence your appetite? So here is some kind of, I was going to say law. It's not really law. I didn't really speak about it on this channel. I think I spoke about it a bit on the podcast. I was diagnosed with ADHD a couple years ago now, maybe last year, maybe the year before. I think it was a couple years ago. And I immediately was put on stimulant medication. Now, they did say to me like, oh, this can reduce your appetite. But in my head, I was like, yeah, fine. Like I started my recovery and pushed through without really having an appetite. So I know I can force myself to eat and I'll be fine and it'll go away. So I was put on stimulant medication, and in retrospect I should never have gone on that. I recently had a call with a different ADHD specialist team person, and she was literally like, why the hell did they put you on stimulant medication? Which really opened my eyes to the fact that actually it's really not recommended. Yes, when I was on stimulant medication, it really did affect my appetite. I'm not on it anymore. I'm now on non-stimulants. And I actually posted a TikTok a little while ago where I was like, I've come to terms with the fact that ADHD medication is just not going to work for me. And then I had a call with this new team because practices changed or whatever, and they put me on non-stimulants. And I don't think I've been on them long enough for it to like make a real difference, but they don't affect my appetite. But the stimulant medication that I was on really messed up my appetite and actually made me feel quite anxious. And even there was a point where I think maybe the dose I was on was just wrong, but I just felt so low. Like it really, really, really affected my mental health. And as much as I loved the productivity benefits that stimulant medication gave me, it was not worth it. I was finding it so hard to eat. I was eating, but I was finding it so hard. It was like every meal I sat there and I was just like, this is like a chore to get through. And that was horrible because I'd worked so hard to get to a place where I was enjoying food. So yes, I am on ADHD medication. No, these ones don't affect my appetite. But yes, the stimulants did, and as the lady I spoke to from my ADHD team said, wouldn't recommend going on them if you've had a history of an eating disorder. The next question is, are you still doing your podcast? Yes. If you don't listen to mine and JC's podcast, it's called The Comfort Zone. I will link it in the description, and we've done 2 seasons of it now. It is probably my favourite thing to do. Apart from writing my book, it's probably the thing I've enjoyed the most doing. Enjoyed doing the most. Guys, I can't speak today. In the last 2 years. I absolutely love it. It's like our safe space, and we just talk about such like deep and vulnerable things, but in such a nice kind of uplifting way. And there is absolutely no way we are giving it up anytime soon. Season 3 is coming soon. We've had to like figure some stuff out, because doing a podcast, I think when I thought about it, it was like we just sit down and talk and then we edit it and we post it. There's a lot more to it than that. And the fact that JC and I don't really live near each other also is a bit of an issue. So actually filming it takes a lot of time. Like, it will be a whole day out, and we're both very, very busy. JC works so hard. She has her small business and is always so busy. So it is really hard, but season 3 will be coming soon, and it will be better than ever. And there's some really exciting things that we've been working on. So yes, we are still doing the podcast. It's just that we've had a little mini break. The next question, and this is actually a question that I get quite a lot, and I'm not sure if I've answered it before, is, do I have OCD, and do I have any tips for overcoming OCD? I don't have diagnosed OCD, and I don't have debilitating OCD, so I don't know how it feels to live with that, but I have always had kind of obsessive thoughts, and I remember being a child and having quite compulsive tendencies, like touching things a certain amount of times, or like those thoughts that would come in and they'd be so intrusive and horrible, and it would be like, something bad's going to happen to someone you love if you don't do this. Like, I had those thoughts, but it's never been something that's like followed me throughout my life and like caused any real issue in any way. That being said, I recently found out about a company called NoCD, who are the world's leading provider of OCD treatment, and all of their licensed therapists specialise in ERP, which is exposure and response prevention. So if you are someone who's living with OCD or struggling with those really intrusive, horrible, nasty, scary thoughts that come into your brain, I do just want to say, although I don't have OCD, you are not alone. There are a lot of people who are going through it, and I think OCD, it can feel really lonely and really isolating and make you feel really strange. And I just wanted to let you know that you're completely not alone, and that actually there is help. So as I was saying about NoCD, they provide live online face-to-face sessions with licensed ERP therapists who will understand what is going on for you, will have no judgment, and can hopefully help you through it. I just had to shut the curtain because I started getting blinded by the light. But you can also get support on their app between sessions. So please, if you are struggling and you feel alone, check out NoCD. I will put the link in the description. And I just wanted to say thank you to NoCD for sponsoring this video, because OCD is really not spoken about enough. And as someone who doesn't have it but very much has an understanding of it, and can only imagine with the limited amount of sort of intrusive and obsessive thoughts that I've had, how awful it would be to be living with that. I'm really glad that there is a platform out there to help, and I hope that you will find it useful. The next question is, what has been the most valuable tool/skill in your PTSD healing journey? I think there's been so many things, so it's kind of hard to answer this, but I feel like the main thing... Sorry, I was saying before my camera ran out of storage, one of the biggest things for me is remembering whenever I've had a horrible time or a flashback or a nightmare, because I think part of what living with PTSD looks like to me is like a constant fear of that happening again. Like, it's not just the fact that it actually happens, it's the fear of having to experience the re-experiencing, if that makes sense. I feel like it probably won't make sense to a lot of people, but when you know how horrible it is to have a flashback or to have a nightmare, like I get quite scared to go to sleep sometimes. And I think the main thing that helps me in those moments is remembering that no matter what it is I've gone through or I'm going through, I have always survived, and I've always been okay, and things have always been okay again. And yeah, I might have a nightmare, but I will wake up, I will be safe, and I will be okay, even if it doesn't feel like that in the moment. The other thing, which is something that I've mentioned a lot and was mainly helpful throughout my exposure therapy journey, was the idea of possibility instead of probability, because I was kind of living in this mindset that all the things that I was terrified of happening to me were really probable and were really likely to happen, and that's why I was so scared to go out of the house, because I thought, like, there is a 100% chance that I'm going to go out and like be hurt, instead of it being like, well, yeah, it's possible. I can't tell you that it's impossible, but it's really not likely. And if you live your life based off what's, has the tiniest chance of happening, you're never really going to live a life at all. So I'd say those are the two things and pieces of advice that have helped me the most. Do you still get disordered thoughts? Now, this is something that I've thought a lot about recently, and I think having been through what I went through with the ADHD medication and the kind of lack of appetite, it sort of brought an awareness to me that actually, although I am well and I don't, disordered thoughts do not dictate my eating at all, and I know that for a fact, I am always going to be prone to having those. So I think there probably were some times last year when I was on that ADHD medication and I did have little thoughts come into my head that were like, eating less is a good thing, kind of thing. And immediately I had to be like, no, God, no. But that wasn't me slipping back. That was just the fact that I've had an illness and that actually like my brain is probably always going to be prone to it. So I don't feel like I have disordered thoughts on the day to day. I don't think I ever try and restrict my eating or control my weight or think about food in a disordered way. I think I do have a completely free relationship with food. Like, when you go on holiday and you're eating meals out all the time and you don't really have any vegetables, I can do that, and there's not that like I've done that multiple times this year, and there's not that bit of my brain that's like, oh my god, I've eaten so unhealthily, oh my god, I need to like start eating veg and like burn this all off. That's just not there anymore. So I think I always need to be mindful of slipping back, but for the most part I'd say no, which is really nice. The next question, which I actually got a lot, I think because I've not really been that active online recently, and that's been lovely, by the way. I've been deliberately not going on my phone so much, and it's been so good for my brain to just have a break from being on my phone constantly. But I got a lot of people saying, how are you? Like, genuinely, how are you? And I probably should have started with this, to be honest, but honestly, I am okay. I'd say I'm probably the happiest I've ever been. I am loving having my own place, having my own space. I get to see my friends all the time. I'm building new relationships. I am just having a great time, and I'm genuinely just doing really well, and I am very happy. Like, I still have my struggles, obviously, but I'd say I'm doing pretty good. And me not being online is not reflective of my mental state, if you know what I mean. Well, it kind of is, but in a good way. Like, I've been maybe updating people less and posting less, but that's because I've just been really present and in the moment and just enjoying life, which is so nice. So thank you everyone for checking in. I am good. The next question is, where do you see yourself aged 35? Now, this is quite like an overwhelming question, I think, because I'm 23. I'll be 24 in January, and I don't ever really think about life past the next year. Obviously, I think about the fact that one day I want to have kids and I want to do certain things, but I haven't really thought about my life at 35. But I feel like also it's quite a nice thing to think about. And I feel like 35, where do I see myself? Probably, I'd like to have some form of uni degree. So maybe I do an access to higher education course and get a degree, just because I do like learning and I would like to be able to help people in a more, not in a more professional way, because like I love what I'm doing online, but I would really like to have a degree of some kind. I also would like to write more books, so I hope that I will be like a 3 times published author by the time I'm 35. I'd also like to have little babies by then. Maybe they'll even be bigger babies by then. I don't know. I don't know when I want to have kids, but I know I want to have kids, and I've stayed very consistent on that throughout my whole life. I've always been like maternal and wanted babies. So I'm hoping I'll be married, settled, still authoring, still helping people, babies, dogs, maybe some chickens, maybe living in the countryside. Hopefully driving by then. That would be good. Guys, I failed my theory test the other day, and I put it on my story, and everyone's responses were like, oh, don't worry. And I was like, I actually put that up because I wasn't worried. Like, there was no embarrassment about the fact that I failed it, because I went into it, to be honest, guys, knowing that I was going to fail it, because I didn't pass a single mock test. Not one. Not a single one. But I'd booked the test, so I thought I'll do it anyway. And actually, I put on my story about hazard perception, but when I looked back at my results, I actually passed hazard perception. I just got like the lowest end of what you could get to pass it. But yeah, that's just a life update. I'm still trying to drive. The actual driving's going well. It's just my brain doesn't retain the theory. I probably haven't practiced enough, so I'll do more practice. But yeah, by 35, I would hope I'm driving, because otherwise something's gone wrong. The next question is, how did you go about healing your relationship with your mum/family in recovery? And I thought this was actually a really nice question because I think I don't really see a lot of people talk about the fact that being unwell really impacts your family relationships. It takes a toll on the whole family, on your parents, siblings, literally everyone around you is affected when somebody in your life is going through an eating disorder. And it definitely did damage my relationship with my family. I think I was putting up a lot of barriers because I didn't want them to, I didn't want them to be worried about me, but also I didn't want them to try and interfere. And I was so consumed with my illness that I just wanted to push everyone away and just do my own thing, and would actually get really upset when they were trying to help me, which now looking back I'm like, oh, they obviously had my best interests at heart and they just cared and they were helping. But when you're in the moment, it's like, you're all trying to ruin my life and what I want to do. And I did argue a lot with my family and my parents back then. To be honest, I don't think I did anything to repair the relationship. I think the fact that I committed myself to recovery and proved to them over and over again that I was committed to recovery, I was going to get better, I was going to be their daughter again, their sister again, I was going to live. I think that repaired the relationship because I stopped being so angry at them and so protective over myself and kind of possessive over things, and everything just became easier. So I think it's not so much that I really did anything, it's just that recovery allowed me to have a happier and healthier relationship with my family again, which I'm very grateful for because I love my family. The last question I'm going to answer is, how are you feeling about 2025 ending? Honestly, when I saw this question, it sort of like stopped me for a second. I was like, oh my actual God, we are in October. We're in October. It feels like it was Christmas 2024 yesterday. I do not know where this year has gone, and it's so scary. Like, honestly, it's freaking me out. So how do I feel about 2025 ending? Kind of scared. 2025 has been an amazing year. Much, much, much better than 2024 was. But the idea that it's about to be over and that a whole nother year of my life has passed is really scary. I think being 23 has felt very young. Being 24 sounds like it's getting closer to 25, which sounds like it's getting closer to 30, and I think then the passing of time starts freaking me out. So I'm trying not to think too much about the fact that 2025 is ending. I'm hoping 2026 will be a great year, but I think there was a lot of sort of things I envisioned to happen in 2025 and it's just flown, it's just gone. I've completed a lot of my goals, to be fair, and you know, I've done amazing things, but I think I thought I'd have more time, and it's not panned out that way. So yeah, I'm looking forward to 2026. I'm starting to feel a bit more on top of things again. I'm hoping my ADHD medication is gonna like fix me. No, but I'm hoping it's gonna make just getting shit done easier, because I find it hard to prioritize lots of things at once, having an ADHD brain, so YouTube does kind of just fall by the wayside. But I'm here now, aren't I? I'm filming now. Pat on the back. That's so like influencers that think their life is hard. It's like, oh my God, I had to film a video today. It's not the filming. I love the filming. It's the editing and the uploading process that gets my brain. It's the steps, guys. Anyone with ADHD will know it's the steps to things. When there's too many steps in a process, it gets overwhelming. But thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so lovely to me all of the time. I am so lucky with this community that I have online, and I'm so excited to get back into the podcast. I'm so grateful that you guys are enjoying my book. Like, the response I've had to my book has been the loveliest and most affirming thing in the world, and I'm so grateful. And I just want to remind you to take care of yourself. I will be back with more videos soon. As I said, I have been vlogging, so vlog coming soon. And I'm thinking I'll probably make another what I eat in a day kind of video soon, because I get a lot of requests for those, and I know they help some people, so we will see. But yeah, just want to say thank you for watching. Also, if you are someone that struggles with OCD and you're looking for help, I will leave the link to NoCD in the description, so do check that out. And again, thank you to them for sponsoring this video. I've forgotten how to outro a YouTube video. It's been that long. Please like, please subscribe, please stick around. I love you lots, and I'll see you soon.